All right, guys, we got the M2 race car back on the lift after our track day at Chuckwalla. We spent 2 days there beating the living you-know-what out of the race car. And so we're doing some much needed preventative maintenance. As you can see here, we got a funnel in because we just put some fresh Liqui Moly 530 Top Tech in the car, as well as a new oil filter. We are currently pulling the carbon filter for the intakes and installing some fresh Dinan high flow air filters. So the car should breathe much better. Air boxes were getting pretty dirty. We did just vacuum them out and wipe them out. You do have to at least loosen your carbon strut base. Because of our shocks here, we kind of just chose to leave it in place. We're gonna go ahead and pull this side. We'll show you what that looks like. This is the oil we're using right here. We got the Liqui Moly 530 Special Tech. So we've got 7 quarts of that and a fresh MAN HU816 air filter going in. We also had some issues with the front brake line leaking here. So we're going ahead and replacing this brake line. Should be here actually tomorrow. We don't have it yet, but we're just assessing all of the suspension and all of the components of the car. So we have all the wheels off, inspecting everything. We ended up pulling the inner liners just to inspect everything here in the rear. Make sure our bodies and everything were staying tight. As you can see here, I never showed previously, but this is how we've mounted the reservoir bodies. We drilled a little 3/8 hole here, put a 6 mil riv nut in, and used just a factory T30 BMW head bolt to bolt it to that and torqued it to 10 Newton meters. So that's what we've done there to mount the bodies, as well as just the inner fender helps hold it in place, but everything seems to be holding up just well. We will be readjusting the suspension before we go to our track day. We are also going to flip the faces on these tires. As you can see here, they're getting pretty thin on the inner, so we're gonna flip the faces, run a set of pretty worn ones in the rear, and we have one set of slightly used for the front we're gonna throw on up here in our tire stack. So we're gonna go ahead and get those on the car, and once that is all in and dialed, she should basically be ready for another track day. We're gonna bleed the brake when we change that brake line, and yeah, I mean, everything so far so good. We do have a code for an O2 sensor. I may throw an O2 sensor in it tomorrow before the track day. Probably would like to do that. If I can get one, I will. There's one more thing too. We hit pretty hard going off track right at the rear of the car here. I'll show you. You can see this bolt is quite ground down. It's missing like half the head due to it coming into contact with the ground. So let me show you where that was. That's like right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. The nut and head of the bolt basically live right there. And that's kind of the corner of the subframe that came into contact with the edge of the track pretty hardcore when we went off with one wheel. Hopefully don't do that again. Lesson learned. Car is definitely too low. We're working on spring rates currently as well. So I've taken note of what is on the car currently, contacted Intrax. I have an idea of what I need. I'm gonna ask for their opinion as well, just to see if they have any recommendations. And we'll go ahead and get some new springs fitted to the car to hopefully reduce our droop from about 75 millimeters to closer to about 50, 55. But anyways, that'll be in a later video, so stay tuned. Make sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Hit your notifications and stay tapped in. We will see you guys here soon at the track this upcoming weekend. Enjoy. Here's the old air filter. It's not super dirty, but if you do open it up, we'll spread it here. Some of these aren't real bad, but some of them are actually quite bad. So yeah, nonetheless, we have some high flow filters. We're gonna go ahead and throw those in. You can see here it's getting pretty bad, so not terrible, but definitely not clean. So we'll go ahead and throw those in the trash, get some new ones in. Something else super funny is it literally says, do not remove. If you're going with some type of upgraded intake or anything, you're basically removing these anyways, and you're just going to more of like a standard, just single, you know, ply filter design. So it is what it is. The filtration maybe isn't as good, but to be honest, with these factory air ducts, the way they're routed, you get pretty much clean air for the most part, unless you're chasing down a car or literally off-roading. So filters should do their job, and being in higher flow, we should notice hopefully maybe a little bit peppier of a car, a little happier car, even cooler air intake temps with less restriction. But yeah, let's get these bad boys in the car and get this thing started. All right guys, so after breaking this front tab off the lower oil cooler protector or skid plate, we ended up welding it back on here. Did a few welds on the back side and kind of in the opposite spot on the bottom side, and Also re-welded the back, ground those out, re-welded them. We also added a few more welds here just for reinforcement on the inside, and then one more as well right here on the outside just to help hold this thing together. Actually probably should have thrown one here, but anyways, we can do that later. It should be pretty solid, at least has one on the inside in that spot, so it really can't tear apart. So we'll go ahead and get this back in the car. We have also gone ahead and reattached our inner fenders. We did put our inner fenders back in, made sure everything was good with our reservoir. Now that that's all good, we're gonna go ahead and put the wheels back on the car and pull this thing out. We will be doing a brake flush tomorrow when we get our brake line. We'll have to wait for that until then. Put our new brake line in here. We've torqued it, marked it, bled it. Everything is good to go. We just gotta clean these nipples and put our wheels on, torque the wheels. I've checked the studs. Studs are good. We've got our brand new fresh tires on the car. Everything is back to normal.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one.